a few things to get through, so a lot of things to do. Last year I was here and sparked that claim, and everybody felt kind of happy. Like Ritesh, I iterated on that, which is that we're just too silent about it, right? There's a lot of Magento stores out there, a lot of happy merchants, and we should talk about that and be proud about that. One little thing that I already talked about earlier this year at the other conferences is we have to realize what are the elements of an open source project, right? So we have the code stuff, that's what we did in the past, but there's a lot of things next to it, like operations and events and marketing and all those kind of things. And we need to realize that that entire left half over there, that's on us, right? We, the community, need to take over that part. And that's where we get all the freedom in the world to do whatever, pardon my French, whatever we want to do, right? But we can work with that. However, we also have to work with that. So there's basically two ways how we can do that. We can either have everybody here contribute, right? So what's up with the clicky thing? There we go, right? We can provide code, much like Parul and Ritesh are asking us to do, and I think we should. We can help in terms of reviewing the PRs. We can do all the content on MagentoOpenSource.com. I don't know if people are aware. I think last year we didn't have that site. I announced it here, but we finished it. So we have our own marketing website for that, where we all can contribute, create marketing content around it. We can post stuff on social media, which should be like the easiest thing to do, and then just maybe hit me up and go like, hey, how about reposting this? Be really good and helpful. The other way we can do is, the whole sharing stuff. Whenever you see something positive about Magento, just share it, right? That should be so easy. It shouldn't be a big task for anyone to do. If you don't feel like contributing, you can fund this. And if you fund Magento Association's operation, then we can hire maintainers who do all the coding. We can hire marketing staff that does all the reposting and all the things. So we also do the administrative things because we need to take care of legal things and everything that's super not fun in an open source project. Yeah, that's basically pretty much the two options that we have here. However, there's a lot of talk about this because people try to get like the old status quo back. I think that what we're facing right now is the most fundamental change to Magento like ever. And I think we should embrace it. Comes with a lot of work, but also comes with a lot of fun and a lot of leeway and a lot of freedom, and we can do whatever the frick we want. So I would really be happy if people would join us on that journey, because we can make Magento what we want it to be, pretty much. All right, going on, because I try to keep the schedule in place, a lot of stuff to cover. We did a couple changes to Magento Association at the end of the year and going into the year so far. So we have created like a renewed vision. We have a lot of new people on the board that are like super motivated to do stuff. We want to focus like innovating things, driving things forward, more collaboration, just simply more output, because we got a little bit of flack for that, and rightly so. And it was me mostly, and now we have Jörg on board, so we have like 2 employees now. So Magento Association is now a 2-people operation. Yep. So we want to work closer with the community. That's why I need more people on the board to actually help with these things. And we came up with a nice slide. So we went from those 3 pillars that we used to have up until 6, because it just fit the Hex logo kind of thing. You don't have to read through all of these because I got slides for each and every one of them. So if we just go through that, I wanted to briefly touch on some leadership changes that we have. So Josh, who led us through all the hard times of Magento Association, was finally able to retire. So big round of applause for Josh, who did all this for years. So thank you for that. We had Slava, who basically moved from vice president up to president. We have Vatsal. Vatsal, are you in the audience somewhere? From India, who moved up to vice president. And we have Danny Verkade, who luckily remains the treasurer. It's one of those super not fun parts of running an open source project. So those are the things that we have. And lastly, we have like 3 new board members. We have Vijay Golani from India. We have Laura Folco, who is also here somewhere, I assume. There she is, on the board. And we have Ollie Hunt from the UK/Philippines. It's a weird combination, but fun guy. Very intense. We spent like 12 hours per week on the phone because he just runs ideas and he's like a little tornado, but it's fun to be around him. In terms of what we're doing with the board, because when I came into Magento Association, I had to like figure stuff out. We will increase the election cycle to having an election once per year. We now streamlined the process so that we can work through that pretty quickly. We will basically rotate in 3 members over the course of an election so that we get more fresh input into the entire crew and get that going. Of course, we're improving the transparency stuff. It's more communication. I'm extremely grateful for Laura taking up that hat to help me with that because I'm just too busy with other shit. So, important, why do these changes matter? What does it do to the community? We think it will strengthen the overall ecosystem and Magento open source as a whole. We can also see that this whole SaaS vibe is kind of dipping down a little bit. People coming back from the grass is greener on the other side situation. We think that we should collaborate more, getting like this is basically what Ritesh teaches on. I think, Parul, that's kind of what you're talking about as well, right? More collaboration. Sorry, spoilers. We want to provide more educational resources. Mark doesn't know that yet, but we will have a talk about that later today. And we have people who want to work on more documentation, etc. But I'm a little bit getting ahead of myself. Like I said, more transparency, more engagement. So in order to get through those new focus areas, and I'm just going to skip through them rather quickly, biggest change that we had is that now every strategic initiative has a board member assigned to that. Well, they picked it, but they are fully accountable and responsible for getting those things going, which is actually pretty good because it takes a lot of work off my shoulders personally. And we want to make sure that we have like clear rules in place, clear deliverables, so that we can get more output done over the course of the time. So first pillar, community engagement. The idea here is that we're bringing back the Proceed to Checkout podcast, which was an enterprise in itself because I had to get like access credentials, which we were not provided with by the old management companies. So that was an adventure in itself to getting those back. We will work on open source contribution recognition, which is something like Magento Masters, but not quite that. But we want to be able to showcase like people who really helped the community, stood out, did great things. We will bring swag finally, because we figured out how to do this. It's legal stuff that we need to take care of. What do we do with the trademark, yada, yada, yada. And we will have more communication. Again, thanks Laura for that. Laura's name will come up a lot in this talk. So next big thing we have is the Magento open source code initiatives, where Laura's goal for her term is to get at least one big feature merge into Magento open source. Because a lot of people were saying, well, there's no new functionality coming into the platform. That's like a set goal that we're working towards, to also show that this actually works, this whole, and basically shut up the naysayers that say like everything is wrong. Then we have improved documentation, both for merchants and for developers. That's one big goal, both of Danny Verkade and Vijay Golani. They wanted to pick up that topic. Big one, in my eyes, the clicky thing. And then the community council, that's basically what Ritesh already talked about, where we now go into full swing. We already have a couple volunteers who are currently preparing contracts with their employees so that we get people who get like a part-time position on that community council, which is really good because then we can drive things forward. Yep. Then, of course, marketing and collaboration. We will be bringing back a showcase site because I think this is really missing for Magento. There's no like central list of sites that people build with Magento. And I also think that we shouldn't curate those too much, because if we only show like the super top level projects, we will alienate the smaller merchants that are also very, very well advised if they run their business on Magento. So small cases, and the idea is that you need to provide very little information in order to make a showcase, so we don't expect like a 50-page PDF or something. The whole idea is that we can get a lot of showcases out fast. And this is almost done. So what we're currently missing is the form to hand it in, but everything else is done on the technology side of things. Then we're having the expert listing, same thing. We have the Adobe Partner Program, right? But we don't have something similar for Magento agencies and tech partners, etc. And we need to have like an official resource where people can show, hey, we are affiliated with Magento in an official way. So that's what we're working on. What else we have? Yeah, I mean, the pure marketing stuff where we need to focus on Magento strengths, that's just marketing talk, so I think we can skip those things. And of course, we want to scale up events like these. I mean, Ravi doesn't really need help scaling up his event. He does it very well on his own. But we have a lot of events coming up. There will be new ones in France in, I think, less than a month-ish, is it, right? Yesterday, somebody was like, hey, how about doing something in Ireland? So that's the people get like new ideas, getting more events going. So that would be really, really good. And in terms of the event calendar, this is my personal favorite, because every Monday morning I need to check 5 sources of different people listing Magento events, and I just want to centralize this so organizers can put their events in, and this will then show Meet Magento events, but as well stuff like a meetup that you're doing locally so people can get connected with the community. All right, moving on. In terms of growth and governance, we of course want to increase the membership base, or if you're not a member, hit me up, please do that. Then we have a dedicated person just to run fundraising stuff so that we can just get more stuff going, because I think Magento open source should be present at local e-commerce events, right? So eCom Expo in the UK, for example, we're currently planning to have a booth over there to show like, hey, this is still here, right? What else do we have? Well, the board elections and stuff, that's like annoying stuff we have to do. It's like legal obligations, board things, right? So what we have next is, and this is also, again, like I mentioned, Laura volunteered to do that. I still don't know why, though. You know, keep the updates on the milestones, what's going on, inform you guys what's up with the committees, how's the work doing. Like I said earlier, more transparency, more information, because like I really didn't do the best job at that. I have to admit that. I was just busy with things. The result that we try to achieve is having like a stronger Magento ecosystem, get more stuff rolling for everybody. So again, usual call for participation. How can you participate? Of course, attend any event that you have access to. Come around to the meetups, go to Meet Magentos. There's a lot of them around the globe. I mean, this is fun because I'm coming from like really cold Germany with like snow and shit, but this is like way better right now. However, don't post that I have a good time here because my wife will freak out. And of course, join all the discussions with the people around here. Bring the good vibe. Post on socials. What else do we have? These slides are new, sorry for that. yeah, of course, contribute expertise. We have a lot of really, really great tech speakers here. Share the knowledge, do more things, mentor people, and volunteer for any working task that we have within Magento Association. That would be awesome. All right. Finally, I want to say thank you for the people who already volunteer a lot of their time or systems that we have. So big thank you to Shipper HQ, Adobe, obviously, Platform SH, Akuva, which need a brighter logo, I guess. B-Mayor for working on the hub with us. Born Techies, Tactic from India, Runners Root from Germany. We have Hoover around over there. We have Bolt Commerce. I don't know if anyone from Bolt Commerce is here. We have Aheadworks, of course, so thanks, Ravi, for everything you do for us. We also want to say thank you to MageOS for the support and the help. Terrific Minds, Sensec, and Fuman right now. So I don't know, well, I almost dripped the timeline, but thank you, everybody, for your time. Everything we do together shapes what we're doing here right now, how we can move Magento open source forward. Just stay engaged, hit us up, provide us feedback, and let's get in touch with us if you have any questions about what we're trying to do. Thank you for your time.